So Judge Anthony Scalia in the Supreme Court in his arguments saying that blacks should be going to schools that are slower and not as rigorous as probably University of Texas at Austin. I agree with him. I think that he could be a racist, and depending on his opinion, perhaps they should remove him from the Supreme Court. I mean, his opinion is not about case or whatever. It's straight that he doesn't understand the issues, and his uninformed position should disqualify him from being a Supreme Court judge. Now, I agree with him. I've studied abroad, and in our countries, in Africa and the Caribbean, and wherever other black people are the majorities, we run everything. We're scientists, we're the engineers. If we were going into space, we would have been the astronauts. We're the surgeons, we're everything. But here in America, I recall in the past, they were saying that black folks weren't, qualified or competent or whatever like whites. But then blacks were prevented from going to schools, top schools, so it's obviously you don't have the training. You see, Scalia is getting mixed up here with achievement as opposed to potential. You could have the rigorous potential. Say the white who stops in that school, if he was treated like a black and not given the opportunities, whether his parents can't afford it or whether the schools were discriminating against him, they will appear to what he's characterizing as slow and should go to slower schools. But whites with more money, they could do things, they could have tutors and the whole 9 yards. But apart from all of that, even in the schools, the teachers don't expect black students to do well. If they're doing well, they alert the police or the Department of Children and Families, and they come in and take them away from the parents, put them in foster care, and send them down the chute. So my position is this, that every race has people who have abilities, who could score all A's or whatever. It's not only whites or Asians or Mexicans or whatever. Every race has a certain percentage that will be brilliant, as it were, and each race has some idiots. So in every race you have students who are going to be able to go to slower schools and do well, and in every race you're going to have folks who could go to top schools and do well. I don't know if Judge Scalia saw where back-to-back blacks have been accepted in all Ivy League schools, and their parents were generally foreigners. So we from abroad have a different perspective, and we could, guide our kids, and they tend to do well. So what he's talking about is a systematic culture that is sort of renegating blacks into garbage positions, and unless you give them a chance at top schools, they will seem as if they can't do the job. But I believe that everybody can do the job if they're trained, and if that is their talent, and this is something that they're passionate about. So Judge Scalia, it just shows that he's not informed, and perhaps he hasn't met blacks from overseas. He hasn't been to Africa or the Caribbean. He hasn't gone to Oxford, London, and Cambridge, where most black scholars go. And when guys from Harvard, come down to the Caribbean or go to Africa, they're surprised to see that folks are ahead of them. So I think that his remarks, though unfortunate, is his experience, and in his opinion, if he brings that in again, they should just recuse him from the court. I know that he has a right, whatever, but they should ask him to go, because that kind of opinion basically is not productive. He should have been advocating that at all levels, from preschool right up. They provide competent and very good, rigorous training and expectations so that blacks could do well in those schools, because every race has people that could do well and those who will do poorly.